Happy Monday, everyone. Welcome to Big Brick Plays, the second channel of me, Bricky. Hello, it's me. And for today, I want to start doing these Monday videos as I have done the last 2 Mondays ago. And for the topic, I think, has been kind of all over the place. I've been trying to figure out what I wanted to do for it. But I just recently launched the YouTube memberships program on both my main and second channel, in case you're interested. Both of them allow you to do those like $1, $2, I think it's $2, $5, and so on dollars a month subscriptions. And then with those, it allows you to have little emotes and stuff in the comments section, have your names highlighted. You can like talk during premieres and just kind of fancy things like that. But one of the benefits that is actually anything over, I believe, $10 and over. It's also if you're like a Patreon thing. Basically, it's like YouTube memberships and then Patreon, but they're like the same thing. Just depends on like which one you prefer to use. You know, open up both avenues if possible. But that one allows for Q&A questions. And if you want to ask Q&A questions that I will answer at the end of my like main videos or at the end of maybe some of these videos, I can go ahead and, you know, give them a little bit of an answer of the things you're curious about. Now, I wasn't planning on really doing that for this kind of video, but one of the questions I got was actually rather interesting, and I thought it would be pretty handy to talk about that one because I thought, you know, it was an interesting question, and it was a question that I get a lot of, actually, and I do discuss it a little bit in my next video coming on my main channel, which is actually going to be a review for Balloon Tower Defense 6, which is kind of random, but just trust me, it's going to be a fun time. But I wanted to answer this question over here because I thought it would be rather interesting, and I don't know, maybe I could shill out the YouTube membership program or the Patreon or whatever the hell it is, because I've been doing some effort to reworking them to making sure they're both streamlined so there's not like anything random, and it's more of a pick and choose if you feel like it instead of like a one has better benefits over the other. So anyway, let me go ahead and pull this question up. The question comes from Judo Keg, and he says, do you have a backup plan? Like out of nowhere, you and Teddy looked at each other and you've got another 2 months of being able to do YouTube and stream full time, but after that, you two can't be financially supported anymore. If you don't know who Teddy is my girlfriend. She also does streaming and stuff as well. But she like just kind of does streaming more just for the sake of it. It's not like a major career path or anything of that nature. I'm sure she'd be happy if it does get that way, but you know, it's not like me, I'm solely responsible for all of my income via YouTube and Twitch. And so the question really is, and it's a question that I've been thinking about quite a bit, is what happens if it all just goes downhill, right? What if, I think you gave me 2 months? Yeah, 2 months of being able to YouTube and stream it. After that, nothing more can be financially supported. So I'm kind of curious because there's a couple of avenues you can answer this question. And I guess a couple different variables depending on the question itself. Like you say, after 2 months, but is after 2 months like I am literally gone? Like YouTube, Twitch, everything just gets straight shut down. There is literally nothing left. Well, in that case, like, would my Discord still be available? Could I stream to fans on Discord? Would my Patreon still exist? Could I still crowdfund that way? Could I do like little mini Discord streams instead? Like, could I do things like that? Or is it just YouTube and Twitch in their own right are completely shut down? Or is it more of like I have to remove any kind of crowdfunding in its entirety? No Patreon, no donations, no ad revenue, no sponsorships, absolutely zip. I'm going to assume that you mean absolutely zip, because I would assume that that's kind of more the idea of like everything going downhill. So with that question, it really comes down to a couple major factions. What is a cupper? Sounds like a sex move. I'm gonna do the cupper. It depends on a couple major factors, if I'm being honest. And really, with 2 months, obviously, with those 2 months, I'd probably go really hard into streaming to gather as many donations and income that I could help work on all the different variations of like my house and rent and such. I definitely would be moving out. My lease is up in November. I probably ask for the ability to end my lease earlier because of my financial situation. And I'd probably move back into my old house that my old roommates were currently living in. I have to kick one of them out, which would be, you know, kind of shitty. But I would be moving back in there, and I'd probably leave the other 3 there or 4 there as well because, you know, still want to make sure I make as enough money as I can. And then from there, I would probably gather some time of either retail job, or I would most likely try to work into some kind of crowdfunding. I said, you know, we're going cold turkey, no crowdfunding type thing, but a different kind of crowdfunding, more like commissions. That's better than crowdfunding. Maybe, you know, if I still have a Discord, if I still have like a fan base, there's still the possibility that I might be able to say, have custom 3D printed things, or maybe have some of my minis, my Warhammer minis, and then I could paint them and sell them to various members of the Discord, you know, make myself some money that way, because obviously Warhammer in its own right has a decent market for it. But also, you never know, there could be a nice market for some other smaller stuff. Like, for instance, I recently have actually commissioned 2 large, goddamn, big titty ass anime figures from Helltaker. You know Helltaker, right? The demon game. I had them both. Someone made a 3D print of them, and I bought the license for it, which allowed me to, I think it was up to 2,000 sales, so I don't really got to worry about that. But I had them created because I wanted to paint them and sell them to people on my Discord or someone who might want them. Because if I'm being honest, considering how much money you all spend on big titty anime figures, that could be a good way to make a little bit of cash. And so that's one of the things that I might end up doing, things of that nature, you know, really try to own my skill as a painter and be able to make some money that way. I will admit, I feel kind of dumb going down this route, the route of anime figures and stuff, but even so, that is a good way to make a little bit of cash. And there could be things for that, you know, selling my Warhammer figures, painting up certain color schemes and giving them to fans. If I literally like lost all social media communication of all kind, and therefore that whole avenue was gone as well, I would most likely just go into some kind of retail job or something, maybe food service. I'm a little scared with that due to COVID. Though I'm assuming that, you know, being a waiter, it's obviously, you know, I'm a waiter in Southern California. I have to deal with wasp moms plenty, which if you do not know what wasp moms are, I believe it's white. Is it white Anglo-Saxon Protestant? Is that how it goes? I don't know the exact definition, but it's the usual kind of mom that always does like the really annoying sly smile if they don't get their way or something. They're really sassy, like, ugh, you just want to punch them in the face kind of thing. I have to deal with those kinds of people plenty. But, you know, if I'm working at some kind of restaurant or something, and hopefully with my last bit of recommendations, like references from when I worked at Dairy Queen, and maybe if my EMT job is still worth its salt, and I'm an Eagle Scout as well, Boy Scout. I might be able to land a waiter job at least like a nicer restaurant, so at least the tips might be pretty good. At least that's the hope. If not, and if I have a really hard time finding a good spot there, I may just go work at Home Depot so I can listen to the theme song all day, or, you know, some kind of retail or fast food stuff. Because I don't have any real issue with working fast food or retail. I know a lot of people, especially YouTubers, really see that as like a level of low social status because they're, you know, pricks. But I mean, obviously working retail, I mean, it's weird. Working retail or food is like, it's both hard and not hard. Like the actual like job itself, knowing what to do is not very hard. I mean, when I worked at Dairy Queen for a while, like the actual effort, the actual way to do it wasn't difficult. But what was difficult was the stress behind it, the constantly having a million things to do at once, dealing with customers and all that kind of thing. You know, you don't need to have a PhD to know how to make a blizzard, but god damn it, is it going to test you when the drive-through has 10 people in it? It's like, it's both hard and like not. It's like hard in different facets, you know? And so with that, you know, it makes it therefore a lot easier to get a job. It'll be nice because I'm not going to have to deal with only $8 an hour like what I made when I was an EMT. I can actually make, I think what's California right now? I think it's $14 an hour, which is a hell of a lot better than what I used to make. I mean, obviously inflation and all, but that's a hell of a lot better. And so hopefully that would actually be able to keep me up and afloat for a bit. I don't know how long I'd be able to last on it, but it would keep me afloat for a decent amount of time. I have savings, you know, I can still throw things into savings and not truly have to worry too much about that, because at least in the first couple of months, I've saved up a decent amount of rent just in case I have that major issue. But I see no issue with doing any kind of retail work like that. And then through that period of time, I would look for different kinds of employment, things that would pay better. And if it would last like forever, if literally I could never come back to doing what I'm currently doing, I would most likely go seek higher education again. If I can, I would go take more courses and then maybe try to get a different job. What would it be? I truly don't know. This is a great era for freelancing right now, both in terms of YouTube, Twitch, but also just so many other freelance projects, whether it's art, modeling, not only modeling as in like 40K models and miniatures, but modeling as in like OnlyFans and things of that nature. I wouldn't do OnlyFans myself, but you know, in terms of the freelance environment right now, the sheer volume of things you can do and how you can make money on your own right as a side project, as opposed to a, I don't want to say normal because that seems weird, but like, you know, a more like typical American dream 9-to-5 job kind of thing, you feel? So I think that'd probably be the type of thing that I would do if everything came crashing down. I don't know. I mean, really, when it comes down to it, like, would it suck? Fuck yeah, it would suck. But I try my best to remember, like, if my house burned down to the ground, if everything I owned was destroyed, I would be really, really distraught. But I don't think I'd be, like, completely out of commission. Because even though, like, yeah, I like to buy nice things. I like to have a nice mic. I like to have a nice car. I like to buy minis. I like to have a nice keyboard and mouse and monitors and a camera. You know, like a nice watch. You know, like, yeah, I'll try to buy nice things like that. But if they all were gone, I don't think I have my personality in my things. So I think I'd still be able to. Maybe I wouldn't land on my feet, but I'd at least be able to get back onto my feet and not just kind of, I don't know, like mope around and not search for a job or anything. But then again, you know, you really can't determine that until the actual thing happens to you. So I'd have to wait and see. Anyway, that's an interesting question. Thank you very much, Judo Cake, for that. I appreciate it. It really got me curious, and I thought I'd share it a little bit. At the end of this video as well, I'll be posting up all of you who are a certain tier on the either the memberships or on the patronage. You are my big boys. I really appreciate you. And for all of the rest of my patrons, your name are on the screen as well. Thank you so much for supporting me and being a part. Thank you so much for watching one of these Monday videos. If you like these questions, let me know. Unless you just want me to talk about other random shit, it's up to you. But maybe I'm definitely going to keep on doing these little Monday videos. I just don't know exactly what I'll do for each of them. Anyway, that's me. It's a pleasure. Toodaloo.